tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, the head coach of the men's basketball program at the University of Tennessee, Bruce Pearl.
Thank you very much. How about them balls, huh? That's what I'm talking about. Character counts. It's about pursuing victory with honor, and that's what it's all about. It's going to be done the right way, or it's not going to be done at all. And we just cannot compromise because we're teachers. And if we don't teach the young people how to do it right now, when they get out there and they've got to make their own decisions, they may not make those right decisions because they learn from us. So I think as teachers, as parents, as coaches, we have a special responsibility to do it the right way, because these are their formative years, and these are the years when they're learning, and hopefully they can pick up a few things. Now, my pillar of character is responsibility. And when I look at responsibility is to try to get our young people to simply do their best, to be the best that they can be and try to enjoy the process. One of the things that we focus on is an end result. We focus on winning or losing. We can't control that. We can't focus on getting an A and the grade, but we can focus on the process, the things that we need to do to put ourselves in position to win and to achieve at a very, very high level. You know, I've never heard a better speech and pregame talk about responsibility than the one that was delivered by Philip Fulmer to his team prior to a bowl game. It inspired me so much that I used it myself last year as we got ready to play in the NCAA tournament. And here's what Coach Fulmer said. He said to his players, he said, do your job. Do your job. You don't have to have an S on your chest, but you better represent that T on your helmet. I mean, don't you want to just go out there and take the field? And that's what I told my players last year before the NCAA tournament. I said, you just better represent that T on your uniform, and that's what it's all about. Do your job. You don't have to be Superman. Take care of your responsibility. Be dependable. How do you do that with our young people? It starts with being on time. It starts with being on time. It starts with being prepared. If they don't come to practice prepared, they don't have their uniform, they don't have their socks, they don't have their shoes, they don't care enough about being there. And then comes the discipline side of things, because we must provide the discipline. That's the great separator. One of the things I ask players at camps, I have a little talk, and I say, what do you got to have inside that separates you from the competition? I mean, what do you need? What is in you that when you come home from school, rather than going outside and playing with the kids, and rather than just watching TV, and rather than just sitting on the couch, that you're actually going to do your homework before you do everything? What does it take? And then they start raising their hands. They go, it takes determination. It takes courage. It takes desire. You go, that's right. That's exactly right. And that's right. They're all the right answers. And then the bottom line is either some young man that heard me talk the year before, and he yells, discipline. I go, that's it. Discipline. The ability to separate yourself. I know this, and I tell my players all the time, it's hard for the other guys to go to every class. It's hard for the other guys to play unselfishly. It's hard for the other guys to make the sacrifices that you have to make, that process to put yourself in position to be successful, because they don't have the discipline, and if we choose to, we then put ourselves in position. And so discipline is extremely important. It's the great separator. I think the second part of responsibility is to be accountable. This is something, when people ask me, what's different about our young people? They all want to think there's a million things different about our young people. Like I was different from my dad, and my kids are different from me, and I walked uphill both ways to school and all that stuff, right? But the difference is this. You know, some people got rich in the stock market in a year and a half, and they thought that's the way to get wealthy. You know, just to strike it rich, instead of paying the price, instead of working hard. And that's one of the things about some of our young people. There's no difference. There's no difference. They still want discipline. They still want to be pushed, but they just want it right away. They want to go in the weight room, and they want to have biceps. You know, they want to shoot a few shots and have you give them the green light. So if they just aren't willing to be patient and pay the price. and it's because sometimes they're not accountable. If it's to be, it's up to me. Period, the end. Don't blame your coach. Don't blame your parents. Don't blame your teammates. Don't blame the referee. If it's to be, it's up to me. Period, the end. If we're going to win, I've got to do my job. I've got to get my players to do their job. And if we don't win, I'm accountable. I'm responsible. It's all I can control. I can't worry about what I can't control. So getting those young people to be accountable is extremely important.